Good luck.
Merhaba arkadaşlar, hepiniz IEFT Talks webinarlarına hoş geldiniz. Bugün İsviçre'nin Kaliteli liselerinden ENSR International School'dan Nadia bize anlatıyor olacak. Lütfen sorularınızı questions kısmından sormayı unutmayın. Yes, Nadia, the stage is yours now.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Zeynep, for introducing me, and thank you for having me on today. I'm very excited to talk to you about our school in Switzerland, in Lausanne. I've prepared a slideshow which I'll be showing you, and we'll go through that slide by slide and talk about our school. And then afterwards, we'll have a little bit of time for questions, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. So for now, I'll start by showing you my slideshow. Okay, so I hope everyone can see that all right. So, ENSR International School, also known as École Nouvelle de la Suisse Romande, is an international school in Lausanne, in Switzerland. So, our school has 115 years of experience in education. So, a very experienced school indeed. We're IB accredited, and we also have the local Swiss accreditations, various Swiss accreditations, as well as our CIS accreditation. So let's go into a couple of more details regarding our school. All right, so first of all, ENSR is a non-for-profit school. It does not belong to a group. It's a school that's stood independently since 1906, and hence the focus of the school is on education and not on finances. So that's always a good thing for our students. We have over 40 different nationalities, and we have at the moment about 550 students, of which 50 are boarding school students. So our boarding school students are aged 12 to 18. We also have younger students, but they are our day students. They're not in our boarding school. Okay, so we'll go to the next slide. We'll talk a little bit about our location. So I don't know how many of you are familiar with Lausanne in Switzerland, with the beautiful city of Lausanne. We are very lucky because this is indeed a very, very beautiful area. And it's situated on the Lake Geneva, or the Lac Léman, as it's called in French. And Switzerland, well, is in the heart of Europe. So this also is a very big advantage for our students. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. We are very close to many well-known and renowned universities. For example, the University of Lausanne, or the EPFL, the Polytechnic School here in Lausanne, which is also a very well-known and very well-esteemed university. And we have our school has strong links with these and various other universities. Lausanne is the home of the International Olympic Committee. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Olympic Committee, but it is based here in Lausanne, which is also an interesting thing. And we're close to the airport in Geneva. It's about half an hour's drive from us, or train ride. So it's very easy for students to take the plane and then land in Geneva and take the train to us. This is very easy when they are traveling up and down, going home. Okay, so we'll move on to our next slide. Just a little bit about Switzerland and being in the heart of Europe. Of course, because Switzerland is so well located, it means that students are also exposed to different languages. So we, if you are maybe aware of the official languages in Switzerland, so we have German, French, English, and Italian. And these are languages that then our students are studying at school, and many other languages as well. But depending on which program the students would like to study, they will have the choice of various different languages. So that brings me, of course, to the next question, which you may have, is what diplomas we offer. What programs does ENSR offer? So let's talk a bit about our programs. So many of you are most probably familiar with the International Baccalaureate, so the IB. Our school offers the IB and has offered the IB for a very long time. So we are very experienced in offering this program. Our school also offers the Swiss Maturity Diploma. So we have the two different diplomas. And this is really nice for our students, giving them the option of doing either the IB or doing the Swiss Maturity. Furthermore, these programs are done in English and in French. So both of them have exposure to English and French, which is yet another advantage for our students studying at our school. Now, your question may be, well, what if my student or my child does not speak French or English? Of course, our school has English as an additional language or French as a foreign language support for all students who do not speak English or French. This is something that we have very often in our school, and that is why we have this support in place to welcome students from all over the world, whether they speak English or French or not. Okay, so we'll move on to our next slide. Okay, just 1 minute. Okay. All right. So ENSR, of course, has an international boarding school. So our boarding school is here to welcome students to stay with us on campus. The boarding school has always been there. It welcomes boys and girls, and it's open to students, like I said, from countries from the four corners of the globe. So the next slide is to talk a little bit about our services. So our services are, I'll start first of all with our university guidance counseling. So we have our counselor who is there and available to our students to help them with their preparation for applying to various universities and choosing the right subjects. That's helping them to get into the universities in the line of study that they are hoping to get into. We also have well-being. So we have a counselor at the school that children can make appointments with, and they can then have the psychological and pastoral support if need be on campus. So we do have that support for our students. As I mentioned earlier, in terms of languages, we have English and French as a foreign language support, of course, for all of our students. So that is not a problem for our students. And then we have digital learning, which is in place throughout the school for all the digital needs that our students may have. Okay, so apart from academics and from learning, let's talk a little bit about what the students do after school as extracurricular activities. Okay. So we have a very extensive list and choice of extracurricular activities in terms of music, sports, cultural activities, it's all there. Because we are in town, in Lausanne, it gives our students then the opportunity to go beyond what the school offers. So the school offers many, many things. As I said, private music lessons, team sports, dance, individual sports, all of these things are there. But let's say a student is, for example, a high-level performer in tennis, or a high-level performer in fencing or swimming or whatsoever. All of these things are, of course, available in Lausanne with a private tutor. And because we're in town, we can arrange this also for students that are performing at a higher level. At the moment, just for interest's sake, we have students that are, for example, Swiss champions in fencing, in table tennis. We have another who is doing very well in show jumping. So many of these things are happening in our school and are available to our students. All right, so the next slide I want to show you is a question that comes up very often, and it has to do with universities. So a very common question is, where do our students study? Which universities do they go to? So I have a map here of our university destinations. So of course, students study in Switzerland. Many of them study here. Others are studying all over Europe. Europe is, of course, is the next obvious choice because Switzerland is surrounded by Europe. We have the Eastern European countries, the UK, the US, Canada, Australia, Russia, and then various other countries. As you can imagine, in the space of 115 years that we have alumni from our school, our students have had time to apply and study in universities all over the world. So all of your big names are also there. They're really the top universities worldwide: Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard, Yale, and then other universities, you know, and all of the universities in Switzerland. So really, it's our students literally go everywhere. So this is good news for students who study at our school. Okay, so then for the next slide, we're going to talk a little bit about, just have an overview of what makes ENSR special. What makes us different? So, as I was mentioning, the first thing is 115 years of experience. So the reason why, because you may say, well, there are many schools that are older in the world. Why does that make your school different? Well, what sets our school aside from other schools is really the very low turnover that we have in staffing. This is something that really makes us special in comparison to our competitors. So we have our head of school and our deans and our teachers that teach at our school for 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. They themselves, some of them, attended our school, and their children attend this school, and grandchildren attend this school. So it really shows the faith that they have as well in this establishment, and also just the track record that the school has of having alumni go everywhere in the world and having different career paths. It's a very varied group of alumni that we have, and that makes for a very rich environment. So the second thing I would say is the International Baccalaureate Program. So this is important because ENSR is the second school in the whole world to offer the IB diploma program. So literally, ENSR has more experience in offering the IB than almost every other school in the world. So this is reassuring to parents to know that they are in good hands and that the school has a lot of experience. We have very good alliances with universities, not only in Switzerland and in Europe, but like I said, worldwide. We have students that have gone everywhere, all over the world. And this is something that we are always, of course, helping our students with. As I mentioned, the university guidance counselor that we have has all of these contacts, and it's something that we have been building and working on for many, many years with universities over the world. The next thing is, of course, our international boarding school. So the boarding school is a small boarding school. So we have spaces for 50 children, 50, more or less. And this means that each student that is staying in our boarding school is really treated individually. We know their families, we know their situations, we know who they are. And this makes it different from other schools because it's very personalized. It's about the students themselves and not about large numbers of students attending our school. It's a very international environment, as I mentioned. So what's also fun about our school is that it's a Swiss school, but an international Swiss school. And why do I say that? What does that mean? So what it means is that half of our students, so 49% of our students, come from Switzerland. And 51%, the remaining 51%, come from all over the world. So we literally have all of the contents on the, all of the continents on the globe are represented in our school. So this is a very exciting environment and a very rich environment, as I was saying, for students to learn and discover the world through other people's eyes and other people's ways of living, to really give them a full vision of what the world is like. And then lastly, ENSR is most certainly a family environment. As I said, the school does not belong to a group, and so everyone that is, and it's a non-for-profit school, so everyone that is invested in that school is there because they care about the school. So it's an environment that really is very caring and very personalized. Right, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is our Alumni Association. So the Alumni Association is, of course, all of our graduates, so students that have attended our school. Now, again, as you can imagine, in 115 years, we've seen many, many, many students graduate from our school. And this makes for a huge network of people all over the world. And it's a very precious network in terms of applications to universities, job searches, and the like. So this is something that when students have attended our school, even just for 1 year, they become automatically a part of our Alumni Association. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about the different options that we have at the school. So naturally, students can enroll at the school for any amount of years that they wish. But we also have another program for students who would maybe like to come just for 1 year, just to learn a new language, English or French, for example, and to have the cultural exchange, to live elsewhere and to discover another country. And then after 1 year, go back to their school. So this is also a program that we offer. So we call that 1 year in Switzerland. And of course, this is open to all students that are old enough to stay in our boarding school. So that means students that are aged 12 to 18 can enroll for this program if they wish. And then they can come and they can join one of our academic programs, continue their academic learning, and have a cultural exchange, discover Switzerland, play sports, ski, do water sports. And all of this happens in a nurturing environment where they are cared for by our boarding school staff. And they get to make new friends from all over the world, which often turn out to be lifelong friendships. So it's really an opportunity that could be very precious to a child. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about are our summer camps. So every year for the past 60 years, so 60, our school has been offering summer camps. So these camps are organized by our school staff. So it's not a camp that we outsource. It's a camp that we organize with our staff. So this is also important to know, because this way we can really guarantee a high quality camp. So where is the camp, you may ask? So the camp is up in the mountains in the Swiss Alps in Champéry. So it's not on our campus. It's about 1 hour by car to Champéry. So we drive the students up, and we stay in a beautiful hotel where the students have ensuite bathrooms and very, very comfortable accommodation. So, but what do we do with the students during this time? How do we keep them busy? Well, what we offer is, in the mornings, we offer students the possibility to do either an English language courses, which is then the preparation for our Cambridge certificate. I mean, the Cambridge certificate. And then we also offer the possibility to do the DELF certificate. So that's the French option. And study languages in small groups. So we divide the children into small groups according to their level. So we have more or less 4 children in one group, and that gives them a lot of individual attention. So they can really learn efficiently and have their preparation for these language certificates. So these camps are run from the end of June until the end of July. And this year, we will be doing it again. We have permission from the Swiss government to run these camps. We also did them last year during COVID, and it was a very successful camp, and we had no COVID cases. So we were very, very proud of the camp we had last year as well. So that's the morning, but what do the children do in the afternoon? So when they are finished studying, we go out and we go hiking, we go climbing, we go swimming, horse riding, playing tennis, playing volleyball, etc., etc. So every day is filled with a lot of activity for students to do and games to play together. Our camps are really run, like I said, by dedicated staff. And this is a big advantage. We offer, like I said, they're in English and in French. And then, of course, all of the outdoor experiences. So it's really something well worth doing for students who are spending long summers and wondering how they can keep busy in a healthy and interesting way. Okay, so that brings us neatly to the end of my presentation. What I'd like to do next, which is always important, is I'd like to show you a video, because I think it's always interesting to let the students speak and for you to be able to see what they think and get a little bit of a feeling for what it's like at our school. So I'm just going to show you a little video that is of our students. Okay, just one moment. All right, so here we go with the video. Enjoy.
I think the school really helped me to build myself. It helped me to learn different languages. It really helps me with the everyday life. I was born in Portugal. My mother tongue is Portuguese, mais maintenant j'arrive très bien à parler français et anglais. Les profs sont vraiment sympas avec nous. Ils nous aident beaucoup aussi. On a des difficultés.
What I really appreciated in the school is the personal attention we have access to.
Something that really impresses me coming from London is the fact that you've got one teacher for approximately 10 students. So we play to their strengths. We're able to help them so that they can achieve their potential.
The school contributed to my level of discipline in a way that there are high standards, and that makes us want to aim high.
And the individualized training is just incredible. The Swiss excellence here in an international environment is really something that I have found is outstanding. And is one of our strengths and has been a strength of this school for over 100 years.
It challenged me to aim high and really led me to a path where I could discover what I really liked. I will be attending ENSR to study medicine, and I'm also part of the Swiss national fencing team.
So from IB at Ecole Nouvelle, I learned a lot of different things, but one of the most important ones is how to be always prepared, and I feel more confident, which helped me in the university in Lausanne in economics.
And it's so gratifying for us as teachers that we've been able to help our students to achieve their first goals and to help them at the beginning of their lifelong learning. So they go to some incredible universities, and whether they realize it or not straight away, we've been able to help them and install a love of learning, being able to install in them the desire to keep on testing their own boundaries.
C'est vraiment comme une grande famille, l'école. Tout le monde est sympa avec tout le monde. It's like a big family.
And it helped me to get the most out of myself.
Okay. All right. So that brings me back to the end of my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone may have for me.
Thank you very much for your presentation, Nadia. So we have a lot of questions. I will be reading them to you. Now, so the first question is from Ece, and she's asking, can I get a work permit after my education?
So this is, of course, very dependent on what on different countries and what passports the passport holder is, but everything is possible. Like I said, depending on the passport that you have and what you aim to do and where you've studied and all of these things. So there are many factors that contribute to that. Unfortunately, there's no easy answer.
Yes. Okay. The next question is from Zatie, and she's asking, can students apply to IB after completing first 2 years of high school in Turkey, or do they need to start first year of high school?
No, they can apply before. Yes, exactly. Like she said, the first year of high school, second year, third year, that doesn't matter. The latest, I would say, from the experience that I have, is that when students are more or less 15, this is really the last moment to be able to enroll. So more or less when you're 15, that is the preparation year for the IB diploma. So that's the last moment, I would say. Before that, you can enroll at any time, and then at the latest when you're about 15.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you for your answer. And next question, how many years total high school duration in Switzerland?
So high school, of course, the concept of high school is different in different countries. But for us, students are going to high school from when they're 14 to when they're 18. So it's those years.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Because basically the 5 years of the last 5 years our school calls high school.
Okay. In Turkey, we have 4 years, so it's 1 more year in Switzerland. All right. Our next question is from Oz, and he's asking, are there any scholarships for successful students?
So because our school is a non-for-profit school, we decided to make the pricing as reasonable as possible. So we don't have a scholarship program. We've rather decided to have the prices reasonable so that it's accessible to everyone.
All right. Our next question is from Ece, and she's asking, are all the students boarding students, or are there any day school opportunities?
So boarding school represents 10% of our students. So we have, out of the 550 students, 500 are day students and 50 are boarding school students.
And Setenay is asking, how big are the classes? Can parents get involved at the school?
Okay, so to answer the first question, the classes are more or less 15 students in a class. So that's a very good teacher-student ratio. And parents can get involved in the school through our Parents Association. So we have a very active Parents Association that arranges activities for the children and for the parents, and welcomes new parents, and keeps busy in this way. So they're very dynamic and very present, our Parents Association. Yes.
So the maximum student number in a class is 15.
15, yes.
All right. Our next question is from Faiza. She is asking, what kind of community service opportunities are there?
So if you are doing the IB program, then the community service is built into the program, as you know, with CAS. So community action and service. So there are various things, like, for example, our students go and do soup kitchens, or they do help out at handicapped facilities, spend the day with the people from these facilities, and do cleaning up activities. They're also within the school have community service, for example, serving the school community, like arranging various sports activities and helping at those sports activities. So this is more or less what that looks like. It's varied, but there are many different opportunities for our students within the school and within the local community and within the global community, because it can also go further. For example, our students had a clean water project that they worked on in one of the African countries, and this is something that they worked on for 6 months. So and something that they were very proud of. So that's also just another example of community service abroad.
Wow, that's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the next question is, are day school students included in on-campus activities?
Yes, of course. So all of our students can participate in all of the activities. The only activities that day school students, of course, are not involved in are the boarding school activities at the weekend, because those students stay on the campus. And of course, the other students are not there at the weekend. So that's the only thing. But otherwise, it's exactly the same for a boarding school student and for a day student in terms of after-school activities and academics, etc.
Perfect. Our next question is there any flexibility about application deadlines and intakes this year?
So we have, yes, absolutely. So the flexibility that we have in place anyway in our school is that you can enroll at any point. So you don't have to start at the beginning of the academic year if there's a problem. If you prefer starting later, like for example, if the parents of a student are only moving in January and our school year starts in August, this is something that we can accommodate, for example. Now, in terms of COVID, of course, we are being very flexible with that as well for students who would like to enroll, and then due to COVID have an issue with coming into Switzerland, then that is something, of course, that we will take into consideration, and all of the admissions fees will be refunded, etc. So yes, we definitely have that flexibility for students who want to enroll and then may face problems later.
Nice. That's very nice for international students.
Yes, it's important indeed.
Yes. The next question is, what are the sports culture is like at this school?
Oh, very active. We have a very active sports community at our school. So we, first of all, in terms of infrastructure, so we have a 2.5 hectare campus. So it's a big campus in town. And we are lucky to have our tennis courts, volleyball courts, athletics track, multi-sports courts. Those are all outside. And then indoors, we have a dancing studio indoors. And then we have a big gymnastics hall that's completely renovated and completely kitted out with all of the gymnastics equipment, really, really nicely equipped with all of these, the latest equipment. Then we also have a fitness room with different apparatus where people can do cross training on. So that's also available to our students, and everything is right on our campus for students to use. And then in terms of competition, so we have competitive sports where we compete against other international schools in our area, as well as other local schools. So that really gives our students the opportunity to compete against everyone here in the area and a bit further away in Switzerland. And we, of course, of individual sports as well. That's also available to our students. And like I mentioned, for our boarding school students, a big advantage is that if they have something that they are doing, for example, golfing or fencing or tennis, etc., then all of these things are available in our area on a high level with coaches, and then we would arrange the transport for them, and they'd be able to train, and we'd be able to adapt the program for them. So, so it is very geared towards making life easy and accommodating students who are focused on sports.
Yeah, so we can say that ENSR is really big for facility-wise.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Perfect. Our next question is about the weekly fees of summer camp.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the weekly fee for the summer camp is 1,900 euro, and that is all inclusive from for the 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
And that's with the accommodation in the hotel, and having rooms, which is a double room you only share with one person, and you have an ensuite bathroom, and all of the activities that they go doing, and all of the meals, everything is included in there. Of course the school, the language courses, etc. So all of that is included in there.
It's good to hear that all is included.
Mm-hmm.
And our last question is from Julia, and she's asking, is summer camp will be open 2021 this summer as well?
So yes, the answer is we will be open. We were open last year. We were lucky to open, and it was really a good camp. And we will do it again this year. Yes.
Very nice. Okay, I think we covered all of the questions. So I would like you to write your email in the chat box so that the participants can directly contact you.
Mm-hmm. No problem. There we go. Very easy.
Yes. All right, I think this is all. So we can say thank you for your great presentation. We believe it was a really informative session for the attendees.
Mm-hmm. I'm very glad if everyone enjoyed it. And of course, as you know, everyone is welcome to reach out to me if they have any further questions. I'm happy to answer questions and to provide information.
Yes, also I would like to thank the participants in Turkish as well. Katıldığınız için teşekkür ederiz arkadaşlar. ENSR International School ile ilgili diğer sorularınız için Nadia'nın paylaşmış olduğu mail adresinden iletişime geçebilirsiniz. Yarınki webinarlarımızda görüşmek üzere. Thank you very much again, Nadia. It was a pleasure to have you in IEFT Talks.
It was very nice to be here. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye.